Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode from the Paperhats Survival Multiplayer server. My name is Glitch. Well, it's been a little while, but one of the main reasons for that is that I have been involved in a build project here on the server, and we'll get to that in a few minutes. But before we get started with that, I do need to do a little bit of housekeeping. You see, I have a bit of a confession. No matter what Minecraft world I get into, I always wind up with a ton of random scattered chests lying around my base. And no matter how hard I try, it always winds up being that way. So today I want to go ahead and work on getting a storage system set up so I can hopefully find my stuff and use it in an effective way. Because to be honest, even here in my starter house, I have a bunch of chests and they're just a random collection of stuff, so I never know where anything is. So I think the first thing we're going to do is get a storage bunker set up. So let's get that taken care of. There we are. That is a lot more like it. Now for my storage system, I went ahead and based it on my storage system from back in Deja Vu Survival, where I've got automated storage here on one side and manual storage here on the other. And then basically everything I have, like stone, cobblestone, sand, all the bulk stuff just goes into this chest up here and then comes down through the line. I've got a little bit of extra stuff down here. For example, the dripstone, calcite, and smooth basalt, diorite and granite because, well, to be honest, I don't use them a lot. And also tough, they wound up being manual storage, but as I mentioned when I did the episode on Deja Vu, oops, well, that didn't help. Hold on. Jump up here, scoot around. There we go. Okay, all I did here was basically, instead of placing a comparator here, like a comparator behind this hopper, I just added in a block, and if I ever want to add in a more automated storage, I can go ahead and just take this block out, add one more hopper in to go down, and then a comparator, and we're all good to go. And let's go ahead and put those back. 1 and 2. Whoops. There we go. And that allows those to open. Then on the other side, I've got my manual storage. And I keep this pretty relatively simple. I've got building materials here. Then I've got raw materials. It was an interesting challenge because doing this project really reminded me of just how much Mojang has added into the game in Minecraft version 1.17. Because now we have not only things like copper, which frankly needs to have its own chest, but also things like amethyst and also the fact that we have a lot more use for honeycomb. But also, I've got the raw materials, fuel to basically either smelt things down or to smelt things down. Redstone, of course, gets its own category with the ore up top. And supplies down here doesn't look like much, but that's because I used a ton of it in my current project. And then, of course, I've got some backup gear. And then plants and and then just some chests for the blocks you find in exploration. And thankfully, we now have someone selling the glow berries here on the server. So I went and picked up a stack of them and started growing them in. And actually, I really like how they kind of added something to the storage. And I have to say, I like how this particular room came out. I really was inspired watching Pixel Riff's Minecraft Museum and how he used a lot of different textures and blocks. And I wanted to try and do something with like kind of an open airspace due to the fact that, well, I mean, here in the savannah, it doesn't rain. So you don't have to worry about, rain coming in on your stuff. So I thought it would be kind of cool to leave this as kind of an open concept using the jungle trapdoors. And I think it came out really well. That being said, though, I think the last thing I need to do is go ahead and update my maps and get this added get the storage bunker here added our, into our, is it me or did I just hear a, oh, I heard the pop of the lava and I honestly thought, like there was a pillager patrol or something wandering around. I haven't had one in a little bit, and no wood here to knock on, but, well, actually here, and knock on wood, but nonetheless, no, I guess it's time to just go ahead and add this into the map so that we can kind of add it to the layout of our base here on the plateau. So let's just go around here and get, wait, what? What happened to my map? Well, here's a map. Ah! Somebody erased my map. Wait. Well, that's what, how in the world did that happen? Okay, well, I'm starting to wonder that, well, I guess I need to break it to you guys. We apparently have a current visitor here on the Paperhat server. It is someone who has been coming around and causing a little bit of mischief here and there. And okay, I will just deal with that later. I've got other things I want to take care of. And hello, Plank Tack was here. Uh-oh. Well, it looks like our resident criminal element has been to my base, and that scallywag has absconded with one of my maps. All right. I will have to think about ways we can tighten security around here. I'm not sure we're going to get to that today because I need to do some planning and gather some resources. But yeah, it looks like we've got to make this base a lot more secure. That being said, I think I'm going to go ahead and just leave this go for now, take a deep breath, and jump over into the gaming district to look at today's project. Because like I said, we've been involved in a build contest here, and I want to show you guys what I've been up to. I honestly toyed with the idea of flying over to the gaming district because where our tunnel is right down there, the gaming district is actually just around the corner, right over here. So we'll just go over there and check out the display. And welcome to the gaming district. And I don't think I've had you guys over here before, but this is just an area that we're basically, we put in a bunch of mini games, and at some point in the future, I'm probably going to add something in myself, but I want to get this build contest done. So what we're going to do is head across this bridge over here, and as we fly over, we'll see the Expo Center come into render distance. Now, since this actual segment is being recorded just ahead of the contest being over, I'm going to go ahead and skip all the other Paper Hats' displays and then go ahead and show you mine. And then probably in a few days' time, just do a quick tour around. Let's go ahead and you get in by jumping down here. Boing! And then the Expo Center is basically just an area where we work to be creative, to set up displays set around a theme. Down here in the lobby area, this is just the lobby area. But each person gets a room roughly this size, and you can set up a scene or a diorama. Now, the theme for this particular contest is summer, and I'm going to go ahead and come up, and I think this is me. Nope, nope. Every time I do this, I fly right past mine. There we go. All right. So, welcome to my display, which is what I did this summer by Glitch. And what I was shooting for was basically to add in some of the memories of the old what I did this summer essays that many of us had to do when we went back to school in the fall. So at each station there is a book, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on each book. I will probably click on it, and you can feel free to pause the video if you want to read them. But each one of them is basically just a little bit of detail about the display itself. So let's go ahead and pause the video if you'd like to. And let's take a look around. So the first thing that happens whenever you start summer is you have to make your plans. And I always wanted a treehouse, even though I didn't have one. So I figured, why not head up to the treehouse and make those plans. So here is the book. But this one was a lot of fun to do, although I will say it took me forever to get a large oak tree to grow like this. But then we can just come up and being interactive, you can just kind of hang out here if you want. And also, if you're curious, the secret cookie stash, yeah, it's right there. Let's go ahead and head back down. The next up is the road trip, and go ahead and click on the book. But this was actually my life. Most of my childhood, if mom and dad took a world map and a yardstick, and if it touched, they thought we could do it in a weekend. And I had a lot of fun designing this actual car. Inside is basically a note block that is hooked up to an old-fashioned Ethos hopper clock that runs into an observer, which is running into this note block, which gives you that kind of, every time it pops over, you get that kind of tone, which basically makes it sound like a horn. Next up, we've got the fair, and this is always one of my favorites. I decided to add a mini game, and this one is actually functioning. So if you can get your arrows and your bow right here, and then if you want, you can take aim and fire, and if you get it close enough in, you will light up the skull, for example. Let's go ahead and do that. And then as you try, you can earn prize tokens here in the prize token bin. And then just to give you a peek behind the curtain, all this is basically the redstone lamp runs into this observer, and then basically that runs into two observers that are facing downward, which go into a redstone line to fire this dropper, which will dispense our prize tokens. And this one has nothing on it, so it's actually the easiest, but this one on this side has a hopper running into a comparator, which is giving out a signal. Since there are a bunch of items in there, it gives out a signal into the side of another comparator, which basically makes it so that you have to get above a certain amount of signal strength to light the lamp. And the same thing is true over here, and it basically makes it a little more of a challenge. And then, of course, with the fair, you've got a whole bunch. You always have someone showing off their baked goods and the animal pens. We've got Wilbur, who, as the book suggests, is some kind of pig. And then down here, I just set up a little prize redemption area where you can take your prize tokens and go ahead and select some prizes from our bin here. Then we come to the roller coaster, and let's go ahead and, if you want to pause the video and read. But this was a ton of fun to design. The minecart loading station here is a design by Mumbo Jumbo, and it works amazingly because you step on the pressure plate, and that dispenses a minecart onto your rail. And because this redstone dust is powering this block, this torch inverts, and that turns off your powered rail. But then as soon as you click on the cart, that will take you off the pressure plate, depowering this dust, powering the torch, which then gives you your power, and you get yourself a ride. Woohoo! Here we go. And then when you come to the station, it hits the cactus, which breaks the minecart, drops it into a hopper to be reloaded for the next person. This was just so much fun to build. Like, I had never tried a roller coaster, but I loved it. Now, next up we have a very important part of my childhood, which was camping. And let's go ahead and look at the book. Oops. Feel free to pause the video if you'd like. But this was just kind of a fun thing to do with trying to capture the old sitting around the campfire at camp. And of course, I had to add in our little torchbearer in the background for all the spooky stories that were told. But this is just an important memory in my life. And last up, we have a redstone monstrosity in here, which I left this scaffolding here just so I could kind of look up and kind of show what's in here. But this redstone monstrosity is our fireworks display. And let's go ahead and... And I'm always nervous doing this because I'm always scared I'm going to run low on fireworks. But all the person has to do before they leave is push the fire button and... And that will kind of conclude the display. So now that you've seen what I have built, I'm really looking forward to seeing what the other server mates come up with. But like I said, the contest still has a day or two left, so I'm going to go ahead and cut to that time. So for you, it'll be in a couple of seconds, but for me, I'll see you in a couple of days. And we're back. Though the contest is officially over and we're still waiting on the results, I'm really curious to see what the other members of the server came up with for their display. So let's go ahead and take a look around and tour what our server mates came up with. Now, Mr. Gold went with a beach theme for his display, and I have to say, I absolutely love his custom trees. We don't have palm trees in Minecraft, but if we did, I think this is how I'd want them to look. But definitely you could see how this is a very relaxing place, and you can see why he would label it as one of his favorite places. Now just down the hall, Casey went with another beach theme. Now this puts me in mind more of what we have here on the west coast with the cliffs that abruptly come to an edge right by the water and how they taper down to the water. I really love what he did with the deep slate and all the moss blocks and just how this hill kind of goes up. It puts me in mind of one of my favorite state parks around here. I love his deep slate work, and just it has that peaceful vibe of the beach, but a beach that's a little closer to home. Now, Dakota May took inspiration from A Midsummer's Night Dream and made an enchanted fairy circle for her build. I really loved the use of the azaleas and the other blocks that were included in 1.17, and also the custom trees she went and built. Overall, it's an amazing build and includes so much detail that you could wander around here for quite a bit with without finding every little thing that was included. But as an English major, one of the things that I found fun was that she included Bottom from Shakespeare's play in the build. So it's just one of those fun details that was included with the build. So that about wraps up our contest here on Paperhats. We still have a few days to wait before we find out the results, but that's going to have to wait until next time for me to report. Because right now, I have a couple of jobs I need to take care of. As I mentioned earlier, our base has been breached. And now we need to work on some security for our home. But that's going to take some resource gathering and also some planning. So next time we're going to look at securing our borders and also maybe hiring a little help to help us keep our home safe. For now though, I'm all out of time, so if you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like, and also consider subscribing if you want to see more content like this. My name is Glitch, and I do hope I'll see you next time for the next episode on the Paperhats Survival Multiplayer server. Thanks for watching.